JavaScript already has a reduce function, only it's represented as a method on the array, on array objects. We'll want to, in this example, we want to re-implement it as a global function. Now, because it's not a method, it's going to have to receive the array as a parameter the array it applies to. So we're going to need a sample array. So let's take the easiest, the simplest case possible. And we're going to want to be able to call it. And the way we invoke this function should look like this. We're going to write a little test. So let's call it reduce of sample array. Now we're going to need some sort of relation between an accumulator and an element. So an arrow function of AE. And we're going to go with the simplest example. So it's going to be A plus E. So the sum of the elements of a vector. And we're also going to need the initial value of the accumulator, which in our case is going to be 0. This means our function, which we're going to represent as an arrow function, is going to look like this. So it's going to be a function of array, some sort of update, and initial accumulator. And if we assume that most of our operations are going to be on numbers, we can give it a default value of 0 in case we want to invoke the function with just 2 parameters. So the first thing we're going to do is set our accumulator to initial accumulator. And then we're going to have to iterate through the elements of array. And with each iteration step, we have to update our accumulator. So accumulator is going to be update of accumulator and element. And then at the end of our iteration process, we have to return the value we've got in accumulator. And that's it. We just have to test our function and see that indeed it works, because this is indeed the sum of the elements of the array.